con men and swindlers and frauds. Oh my, you've got to stop the con before your money is gone. Hi, my name is Martin. I'm the happy retirement guy. It can be hard to be happy in retirement if someone steals your life savings or even a portion of it. And just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz faced danger on the yellow brick road, today's retirees face real danger to their financial well-being in the form of fraudsters and scammers and swindlers. So with that in mind, I'm starting a brand new video series. I'm excited about this, where I will give you the tools and tips you need to protect your wallet before they drain it. And it's going to work like this. Every week, I want you to come to the website, subscribe to the YouTube channel, or like the Facebook page, The Happy Retirement Guy, and I will have a case study every 7 days. We'll peel back the curtain, look at what they do, why they do it, and most importantly, how you can put a stop to it. Today's video is a foundational one where I will tell you about how big the problem is, why target seniors, and the 4 pillars of a scam. So watch this to the end, because I will refer back to this video in the case studies that follow. How big is the problem? Any guesses? $3 billion. That's with a B. $3 billion was stolen last year from people 60 and older here in the United States. It's a big problem. This picture right here shows us the different types of scams and the number of those types of scams. So on the left, we see the technical support scams, over 17,000 of them. That's when you get a pop-up screen on your computer, maybe your phone, saying you have a virus or it's infected. Call this number, click this link, and for $500, they fix it for you when there was actually no problem in the first place. Now on the right-hand side there, you see the investment scams. That's the least number of scams, but it is the most costly per victim. The average victim of an investment scam will lose over $180,000. Now that could be devastating. Here's a question for you. Do you think these are the real number of scams? No, I think the actual number is probably much higher because many go unreported. They're embarrassed. They don't want their adult children to find out for fear they might take over their financial affairs. They lose their independence. And sometimes they don't know that they're a victim of the fraud. So let's now look at why target seniors. There's a famous bank robber from the early 1900s, Willie Sutton. He was finally arrested, put in jail. And a reporter asked him, "Mr. Sutton, why do you rob banks?" To which he famously replied, do you remember? He said, "Well, that's where they keep the money." The first reason why seniors are targeted is they tend to have more money than the younger people. You've worked hard for decades, you sacrificed, you saved, you've invested, and you have a nice nest egg, right? So they're going to go after you because you've got more money. The second reason is seniors tend to be a little less tech savvy than the younger people. And there's no judgment there. That's fine being the way you are. But they know this, and they will use terms that you may not recognize or be familiar with, and they will take your money. The third reason why they target seniors is seniors tend to be more trusting and more respectful and more polite. That's the way you're raised, right? You especially respect authority, and they will pretend to be an authority figure and use that to open up your bank account and get to your money. Now, you may think to yourself, well, that's not fair. They shouldn't target us. I worked hard for this money. Absolutely, I agree 100%. But what was the very first lesson your parents taught you as a child about life and fairness? Okay, say it with me. Life is not fair. So we can't stop them from trying, but we can stop them from succeeding. And that's what this whole video series is all about. Let's now look at the 4 pillars of a scam. I use this picture of these delicately balanced rocks for this reason. These scammers tend to have a pattern or a system that they use over and over again. It's almost for them like going to work. It's like a job. And if you can disrupt their pattern or any part of it, just like these rocks, the whole thing comes crashing down and they go on to the next potential victim. That's why we need to know these 4 pillars of a scam. So the first one is urgency. They want you to make a decision quickly. They want you to take action. Oftentimes while they have you on the phone, they want you sending them money or open up your bank account to them. Somehow they want to take advantage of you before you have a chance to check them out or get a second opinion. So urgency is a big thing. Another thing they'll use is emotions. No, they might say, you know what, you owe these IRS taxes, and if you don't pay right now, the police are on their way to your house to arrest you and put you in jail. But I can help. I can help if you just send me $3,000 in Walmart gift cards over the phone. Okay, so they use the emotion of fear, the emotion of perhaps love. Don't you love your grandson who's now in prison unless you send us $5,000? It could be a romance scam. They get you that way. They also might use the emotion of greed. Hey, if you do my investment program, which is a scam, by the way, right? I'm pretending to be a scammer right now. Use my program, look at these huge returns you can get, and wow, your life will be so much better. So they use the emotion of greed. Another thing they'll do is they can use secrecy. That's especially popular with the investment scams. Joe, or whoever they're talking to, do you think that the ultra wealthy, that the billionaires of the world put their monies in banks and CDs and mutual funds? Of course not. They do what I'm about to share with you. And I'm trying to bring their techniques down to average people just like you and I. But Joe, you can't tell anyone, because if you do, the whole thing goes away and there'll be a lot of upset people who are really enjoying the fruits of this program. Now, it's a lie, but they want you to keep it secret so you don't tell your adult children or your neighbors or your financial advisor. The fourth technique they use, I call this kind of the Hollywood approach. It's where they create a problem and then they offer you a solution. So they act like or look like the hero, and you actually build trust and rapport with them. Now, I call it the Hollywood approach. I love a feel-good movie. You go to the theater, sit down with your popcorn, and we meet the main character early in the film, and then something happens. There's a death in the family, there's an obstacle, they're cut from the baseball team, but something happens and they spend the rest of the movie trying to overcome that challenge, which they do. We all breathe a sigh of relief, go, oh, whew, wow, that was awesome. Okay, that's what the scammers do. They will introduce a problem to you that doesn't really exist. They may threaten you, they'll do all kinds of things to make you panic, and while you're in that panic state, they begin to throw you a lifeline little by little to build your trust. So there you have it, the 4 pillars of a scam. Once again, I'm excited to start this series. The need is there. Come back every week, watch the case studies, share this with people you care about who are 60 and older. Thank you so much for listening.